You know what's funny? I can't find that OG. We've talked about this. I can't
It's
find that.
gone. The only way you can hear that version of the song is if
It's
you
with the
have the
CD.
CD. Yeah.
I like not even kidding. Like just on a whim, I was like, well, wait a second. Let me find the OG and like anywhere written, there's no implication that let's get it started is not the original. It's like
Yeah.
it was like deleted from like the internet. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure they said retarded. Am I crazy or did they say retarded?
Lazor Comb.
Greetings, brothers, and welcome to episode 92 of the Lazor Comb podcast, the show where we comb through random episodes of classic TV with a fine-tooth laser. I am, as always, Christopher Siege, one of your hosts.
And I'm your other host, brother RJ Calster.
RJ Calster, there we go. And I guess I'm uh,
Um,
Brew Brew Siege Baker. I don't know.
oh, there we go.
Brew
Bruce
Siege.
Siege.
Brew Siege.
Not Brucey, Bruce Siege.
Brew Siege Stalin.
There, there we go.
I don't even know what's happening anymore. This week on the Lazor Comb podcast, we're doing a Patreon pick from our Patreon subscriber and friend of the show, Vampiro. He recently shared his IRL first name in the Discord, but I'm not sure if he wants that publicly available. So for now, he's just going to be Vampiro. And the show was actually something I was kind of excited to talk about,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which is
Tell
why
us
we're
why. Tell us why.
which is why we were doing it this week. And well, it's a show called Thunder in Paradise.
Hey, oh, there's a hurricane a blowing in over the water, waiting in anticipation for the action to begin. Baby, I wanna hear thunder in paradise, thunder in paradise.
Or
Thunder.
as
Thunder.
thunder and the thunder, lightning and the thunder. Fuck. We talked about this off air, but like, imagine that song plays at my work all the time, and it's actually started growing on me.
Fucking Imagine Dragons, man.
That's the effect of Imagine Dragons has.
That's
Like
the
they're-
Imagine Dragon effect.
Yeah, the Imagine Dragon effect is like you hear it and you're like, this is whatever. And then, like, the more you hear it, the more it just becomes like an earworm for you. And before you know it, you're just singing at the top of your lungs.
Radioactive.
It's where my
Radioactive.
demons hide. It's where my demons hide. Oh,
Yeah.
Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, that's how I become friends with people. They're like, eh. And then the more I'm around, they're like, actually, not so bad. That's how we get our listeners to listen to us. They're like, well, I'm interested in what they have to say, but I don't know about the hosts.
Yeah. I feel
And
like
then
that,
after 10 episodes, they're like, oh, well, you know.
I feel like that's how like the general consensus is with me, like just in real life, is that people are usually just like, this guy, when they first meet me, and then over time I start to grow on them and they're like, oh, he's actually a pretty decent dude.
It's where my demons hide. Yeah,
Where-
exactly. You're the Imagine Dragons of Friends. Oh, geez. But we're not reviewing Imagine Dragons. We're Thunder in Paradise.
Or as I like to call it, lightning in Nirvana.
Lightning in Nirvana.
That's the great value / compliment / president's choice.
The Canadian version of
The
Canadian
Thunder
version?
in Paradise. Oh, can you imagine? The Canadian version of Thunder in Paradise, Lightning in Nirvana. It's set in the Maritime provinces, like in Nova Scotia or
clearly.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And instead of being like an attack boat, it's a fishing boat.
Of course, yeah.
It's a fishing boat, and what they do is they go around and stop like salmon poachers.
It sounds dreadfully boring and yet somehow better than Thunder in Paradise.
That would be a CBC show right there.
Oh, yeah,
Guaranteed.
there you go. And surprising number of seasons, like more than you'd think, but like 4.
Oh, I was gonna say like 7 or 8.
Oh, okay.
Look at how long fucking Due South lasted.
That is a good point.
Which, folks, American listeners, if you've never heard of Due South, it is the most like boring, quintessentially Canadian show, probably in history.
I'll think on that, but for now, that's a good placeholder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Murdoch Mysteries.
Oh, that.
I-
Well, hold on.
It's actually pretty
Hold-
good.
Hold on. Murdoch Mysteries is one of those things when I was like going through channels, I'd be like, well, what is this? And then the more minutes I watched, I was like, well, hang on, what did I miss? Like you'd come through halfway through the episode and then finish it. That is like the only show where I'd be like, oh, this. But then the Christopher Siege of Canadian TV, if you will, the Imagine Dragons of Canadian TV. No, Murdoch Mysteries,
It's not bad, actually.
shockingly not bad. I'm not saying it's great.
A very
like-
long time ago, a former Patreon subscriber actually pitched it to us.
Really?
And the reason why I didn't go with it is because here's the thing, the show is still going. It's been going for like 20 seasons.
What the? Hold on.
Yeah.
Are you telling the truth?
Let's dive into this.
Mysteries.
Murdoch.
17 seasons. Holy fucking moly.
Yeah, like I said, it wasn't quite 20, but yeah, the show is still fucking going. Season 18.
I was going to say let's do Murdoch Mysteries, but it's wow. Okay.
Season 18, composed of 22 episodes, has been confirmed for 2024.
God damn. And you know what? I will say this, better than like the Sherlock like TV shows that have tried to come out.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Let's make a pledge like right here. The day Murdoch
Even if we're
Mysteries
not
is
doing
canceled.
podcasts anymore, like could be like 8 years from now, we're not doing podcasts or whatever. We've dropped the Lazor Comb. We're dropping an extra episode of the Lazor Comb podcasts
to talk about Murdoch Mysteries.
to talk about Murdoch Mysteries.
We'll do it on Canada Day.
There we go.
But we're not here to talk about Murdoch Mysteries.
Oh, it's a shame we're not. Let me tell you.
What is Thunder in Paradise? Nearest I can figure, Hulk Hogan and
Its intro does not slap.
I actually like the theme.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I like the intro to the show. But yeah, so Terry Hulk in quotation marks Hogan and his buddy Brubaker cruise
RJ
around.
RJ Calster and Brubaker, Rutabaga, cruise
Rutabaga.
around in a
In the Thunderboat, as I've come to refer to it as.
and you said the voice sounds like
It has a talking computer
an
on board.
AI, right? Right.
That,
It has an AI that like communicates with them.
and it sounds like Zordon from Power Rangers. I looked it
Mhm.
up. It's not, but they must be using like the exact same like voice modulating
Some
effect.
sort of modulating effect that makes it sound like it
Yeah.
is. So it's kind of like Knight Rider meet no, the thing is it's not autonomous like Knight Rider is. Like Knight Rider is an AI and it can like drive itself around. There's a show, maybe it'd be decent to show out, but it's high tech. Like it has like rocket boosters. It can like get armor on it, but it's a speedboat.
Oh, we've been doing quick sidebar. We've been doing old shows with cool vehicles. I just thought of another one. Sequest.
Oh shit. Yeah,
Fucking
yeah,
submarine.
Sequest.
Let's
Yeah, there
let's
we
do
go.
Sequest on the next
There
episode.
we go. We and you know what's funny? We didn't even decide what we were doing yet, so
No.
that's perfect.
Yeah. Sequest DSV.
So the gist of this is that Rutabaga and the Hulkster
Rutabaga.
go around and they stop like drug runners on the ocean. And in this case, they go into South America and they find poachers.
Which is a good way to transition into like covering like the episode because the episode opens with a bunch of poachers chasing some wolves, led by a guy. Now maybe it's because I was watching this for free on YouTube in like 2000, the year 2000, like QuickTime video quality. But I thought
As
the
God
lead
meant
poach,
us to watch it.
I thought the lead poacher was Hulk Hogan at first. It looks like him.
Oh, fair. Yeah, I can see that.
And indeed, this will come up again later because there's one point where like we're introduced to a kid who just starts talking and I'm like, "Wait, the wild boy?"
I thought that was the wild boy, and I'm like, wow, this kid got really articulate fast. Okay, so as is tradition, when they chase after these guys, they catch them, and instead of handing them into the local authorities or um Interpol or like
Even the Coast
the
Guard.
Coast Guard or something like that,
Yeah.
they toss them over the edge into the water, and they're like, "That's what you get, brother." And I'm
Well,
like,
so
seems
so
like a light sentence.
so the I'll get to that because I had a very amusing thought when that whole scene on the boat went
Oh,
down.
okay.
But so the poachers, led by not Hulk Hogan, are trying to capture some wolves, and they end up capturing this little boy
Right.
who is like a wild child. The plot of this episode is extremely similar to the plot of the episode of Manimal we covered.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But here's the thing: is Manimal had sick music and the legend himself, Simon McCorkindale.
And with a cool looking, expensive Animorphs
Yeah.
transition.
This show, with a very similar plot as that episode, doesn't have any of those things.
But it's got better things like the Hulkster and a boat
A boat
with a Gatling gun
controlled by Zordon.
and bikers and an assassin. Now, if all the things I listed sound like it should make a great episode, you are correct. it should make a pretty great episode.
And yet, somehow,
Hmm. So
so the poachers take the boy onto their boat, and we cut away to a couple of characters who are. Well, actually, this is what Hulk Hogan and Brubaker are out on the water doing. They are detecting manatee. They're looking for manatees, and
right.
they find this part of the like the lake or the ocean or whatever.
They do conservation stuff, right? That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. They figure out that there's manatees in this area, so they assign it a manatee zone. And so Hogan takes a sign and stakes it into the water, and then hilariously like looks up at the camera, or not at the camera, like looks up at the sky and like kind of nods after he like stakes this manatee sign.
This
into
one's
the
for
water.
you, God.
And then they're interrupted by the poachers who go speeding past them, not giving a fuck that this is a manatee zone and you don't cruise around in manatee zones. So Hogan is like, "Hold on, brothers!"
And they slam into a manatee and take a sweet jump off of it as they kill it. And they're like, "You just killed one of Mother Nature's endangered species.
You just killed the wrong mermaid, dude."
They're peaceful giants.
And so they
Let's get this bitch."
So they chase after them. And this is the part that I find hilarious. When they catch up to them, Hogan. Now, I didn't know that proper arrest procedures out at sea involves ordering the bad guys to jump overboard, which is what Hogan
now
does.
you know.
Which is what Hulk Hogan does.
Proper arresting procedures when you board a vessel and find that they have contraband, illegal substances, or human trafficking, which is
what's going on here.
What's going on here? You just tell them to jump in the water or else.
Yeah.
And they jump in the water and they go, "Oh man."
Yeah, you don't like restrain them or anything like that. Leave your buddy there leave Rutabaga with like a gun pointed on them as they're tied up. No, you tell them to throw their guns in the water and then to jump overboard.
And then throw their guns in the water and then jump overboard as you steal from them. There's a lot of, but now we know. Now we know finders keepers on the international waters. They're not even in international waters. They're like
they're in Florida,
like a river inlet.
Yeah.
And wouldn't you know it, there's a wild child down in here.
Yeah.
There's a caveman boy, cave boy.
And so we
cut to like a scene where it's implied that like they've handed him over to the government and like scientists are like writing papers about the boy raised by wolves.
And this one guy, much like in the episode of Manimal, like really wants to keep this kid as like to like study him,
oddity,
and, like,
yeah.
Find the missing evolutionary link between man and wolf. And I'm like, I don't feel like that is an actual science.
Is that actually what
yes. Yeah, I'm not making that up.
That's fucking missed that. At what point did man become man and wolf become wolf? Let's find the common ancestor between the two.
Exactly.
Here's a little boy who must have been... Man, that somehow makes me more angry at this episode than I already... I must have glazed over the science bullshit because I was like, oh, science. Not trying to find this kid's fucking parents, huh? Let's just like... Oh, and they have him in like an area like designed to look like the wild. An enclosure. They have him in an enclosure with like rocks and like trees and stuff. And I'm like, it's kind of like a zoo.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you guys doing?
And the kid can't speak, which I think is kind of bullshit, honestly, because we find out later on in the episode that he was 3 when his parents...
3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah, when his family died. And it's like, 3-year-olds are pretty chatty.
Maybe, like, it suggests that he, like, regressed. He stopped using words.
He wouldn't just forget how to speak, though. like he definitely wouldn't be speaking as like a 9-year-old would, but like he would still be able to understand them and
We
form
don't know.
words.
Just like us here, the scientists on the show make huge pseudoscientific predictions, and like their scientists basing their like papers on how the boy like would have grown, and there's all these scientists being like, as you see here, the boy was taking care of wolves, and so the boy thinks he is a wolf, and it's kind of like insufferable pseudoscience stuff,
Yeah.
kind of telling of
Insufferable.
its time.
Insufferable. That is
Oh,
uh,
it's not, it hasn't even started yet.
I know.
And then something finally interesting happens, and Agent 47 throws a fucking flash grenade. Sorry, incendiary grenade into his enclosure. Like just straight up, just like lighting the enclosure on fire. There's no fucking fire alarms or water
Sprinklers. Yeah.
sprinklers in this whole building, and it's just like, well, there's a building from the 70s, so and not only that, we can hear the child screaming in the background as the scientist is giving his lecture to like journalists and answering questions. He's like, see, even now the child screams out of frustration, and the Hulkster's like, those aren't screams of frustration or anger, those are screams of fear, brother. And he's the only one that races off to go find out why the kid's like losing his shit. And sure enough, there's half the building is on fire.
Yeah.
And he breaks the kid out, and the kid runs past him and out the building. And I like that he turns to his lady and he's like, grab a fire extinguisher and call the fire department. And she grabs a fire extinguisher. I'm like, oh, this is a way bigger fire than. And she goes into the smoky room to go like put it out. And I'm like, no. Like, that's how people die. Like, it was well beyond like a civilian using a fire extinguisher. So I thought that part was funny. Like, runs into a smoky room with like a fire extinguisher.
There is one point later on in the episode where I did actually laugh out loud once. And it was a moment where you were supposed to laugh. It's a joke that Brubaker makes.
Oh, is it there yet?
No, it's
What
not.
is it? What is it?
It's to do with the shirt when
Oh, well, yeah. We'll get there. Yeah,
We'll
because
get
we
there,
won't
yeah.
forget that part. The first time I laughed is when, as the child is running, he's wearing a potato sack and his hair is really long and he's dirty. He's screeching his lungs out. He runs through the building. Nobody grabs him. Nobody pays any mind. And the Hulkster is like sprinting after this kid. He runs outside the lab, and then there's a minute long slow-mo scene of the kid running through a fountain with the Hulk like running through the fountain.
how did I miss this?
It's like it's a slow-mo scene, and I'm just like, was this to pad out the episode? Like, what? Very bizarre. And then as soon as the kid and the Hulk like clear the fountain that they could have ran around, it goes out of slow motion again. And
Huh.
I just found that fucking weird.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
And
weirdly
well,
enough.
wouldn't you know it, this kid, he's jumping cars in traffic. It's like Robbie Williams. Lol. Robin Williams. What year is it? Crazy man, like coming out of Jumanji. And he ends up at a biker barbecue.
A biker barbecue, yeah. And first off, one of the chicks at the biker barbecue, hot damn.
One with the tattoos.
Yeah. She's like got like strawberry blonde hair. She has like a backless shirt on with like, and her back is like covered in tattoos, and she's wearing like tight pants with like slits like down her thighs. And I'm like, holy shit.
This broad's got something I like.
Give this chick more screen time. I would have much rather watched an episode of television about her.
And they're like, hey, why are we doing the cooking?
Yeah.
The guys wanted to run the barbecue. Let's go like take the bikes and like let them barbecue. And they go inside the house.
They go inside, and
And
the
the
kid
child
shows up.
runs up and he's like, ooh, ah. and he like grabs the barbecue with his bare hands. He's like, "Ooh, fire, hot!" Ooh, and then he like runs over to like the corn or the salad or something and starts and
And so
starts
the
like eating.
and so the biker
By
dudes
the way, the
show
kid's
up.
wearing like a potato sack.
He's wearing a potato sack, and the biker dudes show up, and the one is like, "Oh, hey, little buddy, what's going on
Some
with you?"
bikers like pull in on their bikes, and then the rest of them leave the house. And the big dude who like owns the house, like, "Oh, where are you going, little guy?"
Yeah,
Right?
is everything okay? Like, you want some food?
Oh, look at this little dude. He's super hungry. they're just they're not like hurting him.
No, not at
They're
all. And so Hulk Hogan runs up, and he's just like, "Give me the boy, brother! Give me the boy, dudes!"
give me the boy, dudes. Nobody gets hurt. And they're like, who the fuck are you? And then it's like, hey, you don't want to take this where you don't want to take this, brother. And so obviously it's his fucking yard.
And
Also,
it turns
this
into
child's running for his life.
yeah, and it turns into this big brawl, and Hogan beats up all the bikers.
Beats
Now,
the
here,
shit out of like half of the bikers.
I think we're supposed to cheer Hogan on in this scene, but here's
Maybe
the
it's
thing.
from a different time, but Siege and I had the exact same fucking reaction when we saw this.
Here's the thing. If like I'm like having a barbecue with a bunch of my friends, and
And there's a
like
starving child,
this like starving child like
dirty,
dirty, like
potato
clearly
sack.
like malnourished and mistreated, runs into my yard, and all of a sudden this big like beefcake dude runs up, and he's like, "Give me the boy, dude." I would be like, "Hold on,
Whoa, whoa, whoa. How about we call the police?
let's call the police
And he's like, no, I'm taking him to my place.
and figure out what's going
by
on."
the way,
here.
he is, with no exaggeration, he's kidnapping the child because the people who had him in custody actually have like the police come looking for him later.
Yeah.
So he is actually kidnapping this. But
Weird.
the show wants us to like cheer for the Hulk beating the shit out of all these bikers,
Who have done
so he can
absolutely
kidnap-
nothing wrong.
except feed the fucking wild, man. What a different time. What year is this from?
94.
It feels like it's from the 70s, man. Like that is wild. And yeah, they're ribbing the kid a bit because he's all like, "Oh, little Timmy, oh, where you going, huh? You want to stick around and like get some food?" And then at one point the kid bites him and he's like, "Hey, oh, you little fucker." Let go of the kid, brother. I'm taking him with me. Not the first problematic thing Hogan does. One of us may have watched it all the way through, and one of us may have sent someone else screenshots that didn't need to be. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. But anyways,
I posted a screenshot in the Discord of Hogan giving like the weirdest like fucking smile to the kid.
I love that so much.
I actually shared
Where is
that on
that?
Instagram as my
There it is, yeah.
as my Instagram story. It's just Hogan with like the weirdest like, fucking smile on his face.
I had 15 Coors Lights to get into character, brother. So anyways, he decides to adopt him. Doesn't ask his wife, but you know what? They're such good people that like his son and his wife, that is his son and his wife, right? Just decide that's cool. That let's kidnap this child.
No, who is she?
I don't know. Anyways, there's a kid, there's Rutabaga, and there's this lady, and they're all like part of this team.
She is the owner of the bar that Hogan and Rutabaga like to hang out at, and the little girl is her daughter.
The boy.
No, it's a girl.
Well, what the fuck do I know? I guess.
It's a little girl, because I mentioned off air that the actress who played her is the same age as I am.
Right.
I was born 2 days before I was.
Okay, well,
But here's the thing, and as mentioned, when we're introduced to this little girl, I thought it was just the wild boy who suddenly knew how to talk, because they look pretty similar. They're
and
both
they
about the
go,
same
"Oh,
age,
we're giving him a haircut."
and they have the same fucking haircut. The same like terrible like 90s like bowl
Fucking
cut.
bangs right here, and then like the rest of it going to He-Man. They have He-Man's like fucking bowl
Man, two of my cousins in the 90s
They had the bangs
had
with the
that
bowl cut.
same stupid ass haircut.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the He-Man bangs and then
Yep.
the I'm sorry. They must have been bullied.
It was a popular haircut at the time. Even the if you remember the movie The Santa Claus, classic.
I,
Tim Allen,
I immediately picture the kid.
the kid in that movie has that same
There are
haircut.
some bowl cuts where it like curls inwards. There's some bowl cuts where you're if you're young and cute enough, you could like pull it off. Not let that die. Like you know how mullets are coming back?
Oh,
Let's not bring
yes.
howdy doey. Let's not bring that the bangs with the bowl cut back. It's hard to watch. I thought she was a boy. Anyways,
you know who can kind of pull off the bangs with the like slight bowl cut with like the slight curls underneath?
Actresses.
Some goth chicks.
Yeah.
They can pull that off.
Like
what's her name from Tron Legacy?
Oh yeah. Chick from
Olivia
Tron
Wilde.
Legacy. That's kind of like a wolf. No, that is no. I see. Yeah, she can do it.
Olivia Wilde, Tron Legacy.
Vampiro, you definitely didn't.
That's a slightly different haircut, but
it's different. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's not bring most 90s haircuts back, please.
Yeah. I like how
there were a lot of fun things about the 1990s, but hair was not one of them.
Yeah.
Leave some things in the past.
Yeah, let some things stay dead. I like how the you had mentioned you're like, holy protein shakes, this show sucks. And one Discord user was like, well, you definitely didn't just get a bad episode.
It was the person who pitched the show.
What the fucking vamp? If this is, and then someone was like, Baywatch with more muscle mass. I don't think it is at all.
We should get to Baywatch eventually.
It is not Baywatch with more muscle mass, like at all. Like that.
No, but I think Vampiro mentioned this is from the creators of Baywatch. So,
well, at least we could say we've seen it.
I soars it. That is to say, I seens it.
I done seens it. We've seen it. We've saws it.
And we hee-hawed it.
And we hee-hawed our way to the lagoon.
And we heed.
No, I did not. Not even once.
No.
Not even once. What happens after he can? Oh, so it's established that the child will not. This is just my evil scientist voice. By the way, the scientist that he escaped from doesn't have an accent. He's just American. But the child will not wear clothes unless they are from the hide of the animal. Now, here's where I'm like, wait a second, you piece of shit. Wolves don't wear animal hides.
So what is this kid doing? Like killing his like members of his wolf pack and like wearing their skin?
Or it's implied that like he's wearing the loose scraps from the kills that the wolf pack would bring. But like the child also wouldn't be able to survive because wolves are carnivorous and they eat raw.
Yeah. I've never understood the you don't see it much anymore, but like for many, many years, the trope of like someone being raised in the wild by animals. No.
As far as I know, that's never, ever been true.
No, chances are those animals are probably going to eat that child.
Later on, there's like jokes about how like it's later on. There are jokes about how most of those stories are just myth.
But this is the one. This is the one that's real, brother.
This is the one that's real. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like you find a 4-year-old as wolves, you're like, oh, this is the easiest thing we've ever eaten.
This is our easiest meal ever.
But I guess an alpha female got a hold of the child. And if they've recently lost a cub of their own, then they may, what's it called when you substitute? They may like psychologically like replace a different
imprinting
animal,
or something.
yeah, or something like that, may take this new child and like try to cope with the loss of their cub, like raise it as their own. And there's some behavior that's scientifically
Or
proven
like
that that's happened.
like a
Surrogate.
surrogate. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. There's some evidence that that's happened. Um, so I guess that just happened with wolves.
Now
Oddly enough, the kid doesn't like bark or howl. He
I
just
would
goes,
believe
"Ah!"
I would believe a chimpanzee potentially taking in a human baby. I mean, chances are they would still, like, the males would probably still eat them because
Probably
fuck they,
fucking kill it.
yeah, like fuck they eat their own sometimes.
Hey man, Tarzan is a documentary.
But I could see like a chimp like female whose like baby has recently died.
Yes, they
Yeah,
definitely. They're very
because just
they've
because they're
done
so
stuff like
similar
that.
to us.
They've done that with like kittens and puppies.
Oh yeah,
We'll just grab them and like kidnap them and try to raise it as their like baby. So I can picture that with like a little baby. Man,
Yeah.
don't go on vacation with like a very young child anywhere there are like monkeys. They will fucking eat their fingers off and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Don't go to Tanzania with a baby. Is what we're saying.
No, just Google the lifelong injuries children and babies have gotten from monkeys and be horrified. I'm not kidding. Like it's bad.
Yeah.
They're not kind. It's like, well, evil is a humankind thing. Only man knows evil. I don't know, man. Dolphins? Have you heard? They liked they take things by force.
Didn't you share a story a long time ago about a cat you had that was just a psychopath?
I have had two brothers. One was loving. You could hold it, put him on your shoulder, you could pick him up, and like, you could do anything with him, and he just like accepted and purr and sleep on you. And he mostly liked staying inside. The other cat, his brother, was an actual psychopath.
Yeah.
Like would like wait until you're sleeping and then like fucking come and bite your nose or your neck or something like that and run away. And you just wake up being like, oh, what the fuck? Man, I was walking home. I haven't seen the cat became feral. Have you ever had like a cat that grew up?
I've
and
seen
then just
cats do
longer
that,
and
yeah.
longer they become feral. I was walking home, hadn't seen the cat in 2 months. Some seagulls in front of me, coast town, right? Fucking, I thought it was like a predatory cat. Shadow comes from like the bushes, and I'm just like, whoa, 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 and then there's like all feathers
yeah, like
and everything.
lunged at it and like went right for its neck, right?
Went for its neck, and then by the time like everything stopped moving, seagull dead. Seagulls are big.
They are, yeah.
Like they're fucking big, right? Seagull dead.
They're also assholes.
And this black cat with the seagull in its mouth, who it probably weighs more than him or as much as him, looks at me, and it's Felix. It's my fucking like cat that like I hadn't seen in months. And he looks at me with like this hatred. Like next time it's gonna be you. And he drags the seagull into like the bushes, and I'm like, okay, I guess that's how he's staying alive.
And then the next time you see him, he has like smeared like black paint around his eyes and like a painted like Glasgow smile around his mouth.
The next time I saw him was,
and he's like, you want to know
later.
how I got these scars?
I know how I got these scars. See, my father was a drinker. Next time I saw him,
my father enjoyed catnip a little too much.
And one night he decides to put a smile on my face. I saw the cat a month later sitting on one of the posts on the fence outside. It was raining, and one of my siblings is just like, oh, there's Felix, because the orange cat, the nice one, was looking outside, like swishing his tail. And I look outside and just ears flat, face down like a fucking villain, right? Unmoving in the rain, just staring at all of us inside. And I'm like, Felix, do you want to come inside? And I open the sliding like glass door and just stares. And then I take 10 steps out and he fucking like takes off. And I was like, that cat's gonna kill us in our sleep. I think he hated that we liked his brother.
He
Nature versus nurture.
Sometimes dead is better.
Sometimes dead is better.
What you're saying is
from
it's Pet Cemetery. He's the cat from Pet Cemetery.
Shit. Yeah. Like, oh, right. Almost made my mom trip downstairs one time.
Pet Cemetery, good movie. The remake wasn't actually too bad either. The remake has an even fucking more like fucked up ending than the original.
I did not know there was a.
Yeah, it came out about 5 years ago, I think.
I should watch it.
Yeah, it's not bad. I think it has what's his name? He's an actor I really like. He was in the second Planet
Billy
of the Apes
Zane.
movie. Billy Zane. War for the Planet of the Apes. No, it's not that one. It's the one before that.
Apes Together Strong.
Planet of the Apes reboot series. What is War for the Planet of the Apes? What? No, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Who even knows how those? Yeah.
Fuck,
There's four of them now, right?
The naming conventions of these of these movies, for God's sake.
There's 4 of them? 5. 4?
Jason Clarke. That's his name.
Oh.
I really like him as an actor. I think he was in the Pet Sematary remake. Yeah, he was.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as remakes go, it's actually not bad. And like I said, the ending of it was like even more fucked up than the original.
I have to watch it then. Luckily, Felix did not kill me and my family. I imagine he's still there to this day, since cats can live like 20 goddamn years.
Out in the wild, they don't usually, but it sounds
definitely not. Statistically speaking.
But it sounds like this cat, like probably
he'll live to 30, man.
Probably will stay alive just out of sheer hatred.
He's got like one ear, one fucking scar going down his eye. Hatred's keeping him alive. Only like one tooth left. Just like fucking gray tufts missing. Hatred keeping him alive.
He like gets hit by a car and is dead, and then all of a sudden he just like twitches and like gets back up
and runs away. Twitches, gets back up, bites the neck of the guy that came. turns into a fucking Austin Powers skit where he's slamming the cat against the in the door and oh fuck, blood like comically like squirting out everywhere. That cat's killed people.
And after he comes back from the dead, he doesn't meow anymore. He actually like roars like a lion.
Oh shit. Like really bad dubbed, like that's a movie I'd pay to see. God damn it.
This actually isn't a bad idea for a movie, honestly.
Right? Hate kept him alive, and then hate brought him back. Lightning strikes.
Hate kept him alive, hate brought him back, and hate will claim you.
And hate will claim you. From the producers of
A Nightmare on Elm Street.
But like the bad remake from like 9 years ago.
From the director of the modern Halloween trilogy. From the director of Halloween Ends.
From the director of Jason in Space.
I find it really funny.
That? Jason X?
Jason X, yeah. I like that movie for how stupid it is.
Well, that's the thing. It leaned like the what's that? The Leprechaun franchise. Like you got to know what you're getting into before you watch those.
See, yeah, and the thing with Jason X, like I said, it leans into the stupidity and knows what it is. The problem with Thunder in Paradise is it does not.
And
much like Airwolf.
Much like Airwolf, whereas, and we talked about it when we covered the A-Team. The A Team leans into all of its tropes.
Yeah, it leans in. It knows it's silly.
It knows it's silly, and it knows the vibe.
Yeah.
Thunder in Paradise, man, I don't. Oh, geez.
Thunder in Paradise should have been much like Airwolf, I feel. Although I would say Airwolf is a better show than Thunder in
A
Paradise.
little, yeah, a little bit better.
But
It's tolerable.
I feel like they both like really needed to just lean into the silliness like the A Team did.
Yeah. Where were we? Oh, we cut to a corporate executive office. It did. It should have, and I expected it to. It's called Thunder in Paradise, and he has a transforming speedboat.
Yeah.
What
I
happened
thought
there?
this was going to be fun and silly. No,
Alas,
it's just fucking terrible.
uh, it is. Like, it's one of those things where if you're watching this and you're like, oh, this kind of sounds fun, we are anybody talking about it will make it, even if they're shitting on it, it will sound more fun than actually watching the episode. And indeed,
Why do you think we're talking about Cat Cemetery: The Return?
for like 15 goddamn minutes. But okay, so as the police are looking to go and grab this kid, we cut to like this rich CEO office lady who's talking to an assassin.
Yeah.
And she's like, you idiot, you didn't kill the kid. And the assassin's Agent 47 is like, you said to make it look like an accident. There's room for error in that case. And she's like, well, go kill him. You know what? I don't even care about making it look making it look like an accident. And he's like, okie dokie. And her mind changes 3 times. Because later on, she's like, okay, I don't care how much money it takes or what you got to do. Just go finish the goddamn job. And he's like, I'm going to be a rich man after all this. And she's like, of course you will be. Oh, but one more thing. I want him alive.
Wait, what? You literally
You
just
just
said to
said-
kill him.
Hey, I don't even know if you made it this far. Don't not to tip Siege's hat, but
Yeah, you're kind of giving something away.
I swear, I rewatched it to make sure I wasn't fucking insane. After talking with the assassin and telling her, doesn't matter what it takes, hire other people. I'm gonna make you like fabulously wealthy. Just finish the job. And on his way up, he's like, oh, but one more thing, I need him alive. Then hire not an assassin. A kid with a guy with a van and a puppy, like it. A van
dark.
with like free,
and
a
with
van
puppy
that
and
says free candy written on the side. Do assassins kidnap people? Anyway,
see, that's dark, but it's kind of on point because there's definitely some weirdness between Hulk and this kid in this show.
Oh geez. There's some more later that I sent you. So they're like trying to rehabilitate him because the Hulkster is a psychiatrist. This would take years and they'd have to go about it very carefully. But he's like showing him a mirror, and he's like, "You boy," picks up a picture of like a wolf, boy.
I'd say I found this
Wolf.
really funny because it's like he's not pointing to the kid, he's pointing to the kid's reflection. I half expected the kid to think a mirror was a boy.
Oh, right.
He should have
And
been like wolf and then pointed to the kid and like tapped his chest or something and be like boy.
You boy.
Yeah.
So Rutabaga is like, okay, I'm gonna investigate missing children from the time. Boom, wouldn't you know it? He ends up going and talking to this old lady, CEO lady, and he's like, oh yeah, a kid like went missing. Like what happened there? And she's like, well, he died. And he's like, oh,
no, the body was never recovered. And she's
the
like,
body was
well,
never recovered.
Actually, it was.
I went there privately, and 8 miles down the river, we found his body. And he's like, oh, where is he buried? And she's like, oh, he's cremated.
He's like,
He's
was there a
cremated.
funeral? She's like, no, he's cremated.
And I'm like, hold on,
We spread the ashes in the lake that claimed his
that
life.
claimed his life. And I'm like, fuck
That's weird.
you, you morbid, crazy bitch. That is weird. If I drowned at a beach, you better not fucking spread my ashes on the beach where I drowned.
I know,
You
right?
fucking
Why?
maniac. You that is, and then Rutabaga is like, kind of seems like something a fucking villain would say. And like you could tell he's like a little sussy. But it's just like, oh no, there was no funeral because we spread his ashes. Pretty sure when somebody is cremated, you can still have a fucking funeral procession.
Although
In fact, I've been to
my family didn't for my uncle who died last year. I'm like, oh, is
well,
there going to be a funeral? They're like, no, because he was cremated. I'm like,
but
you can still have a funeral.
Get together and like
Yeah.
say.
It was weird to me.
And so Rutabaga's like, huh, you don't say. And then he goes to investigate it later, and he's like, turns out like the kid's name is Tommy. So what we're going to do is we'll bring him to a beach where he can hang out with other kids and traumatically try to make him remember events
Before
from
the
when
beach.
he was 3 and 4.
Before the beach with the toy boat scene, which we'll get to. But there's a scene.
God.
There's a scene where they're trying to like bathe him and clean him up, and
yeah,
this is the one time in the show that I laughed.
Yeah,
you hear like all this like the kids like
they're
screaming,
screeching,
and like all this like rustling going on, like
and
mayhem.
Rutabaga comes out and he's like, can't get the kid to wear clothes.
Yeah, he's holding this like sponge up, and his hair is like kind of like frazzled, and he's like
off
the kid,
camera. They're like trying to clean him up and bathe him.
He's like, the kid loves his bath. Let me tell you.
You know what's funny? He is actually the funniest part of the show.
And indeed, and he's like, yeah, the kid doesn't like clothes, and so the Hulkster like takes his shirt off and
like, pops his pecs some.
I just realized
it's in his contrast.
I just realized we're both wearing tank tops, and it's kind of appropriate for this show.
He takes his tank top off and tosses it at him, and he's like, give him this. It has my scent.
It has my scent on it. And I'm like, I get where they're going with that, but it's still kind of weird. And so
Brubaker like smells it, and he's like, oh yeah, smells terrific, or smells like Ode Hulkster, or whatever. He makes some comment.
He makes some joke. And so he goes back into the bathroom, and then comes back out, and he's like, he opens the door, he's like, he's smelling it, goes back in, comes out, and he's like, he's licking it. Goes back in.
I missed that. Does this happen, or
Yes. Goes back in, comes back out. He ate it.
Are you serious?
And Hulk's like, "Oh, quit playing around." He's like, "No, I'm just joking." That was the one time in the episode that I actually laughed, is when he did the whole like in and out thing. He's like,
he's eating it.
He's smelling it.
Okay, yeah.
He's licking it.
Quit goofing. Quit giving me a goof.
He ate it.
That guy's the best part.
Yeah.
Everyone else, including the Hulk, is actually kind of forgettable.
Here's the thing: is Hulk Hogan is not an actor. He was great in the A-Team because he's
playing
the Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan, great friends with Mr. T.
But Hulk Hogan actually trying to act as anyone other than Hulk Hogan. You know, a movie we should do a commentary track for is Suburban Commando. It's a movie I loved when I was a kid. It's probably like a completely atrocious, but the Hulkster
atrocious.
The Hulkster plays like an intergalactic bounty hunter who like comes to Earth after an evil like alien fugitive played by the Undertaker crashes on Earth, and he ends up like staying with like this like suburban family.
Well, in that case, I'd rather just watch Earth Chicks Are Easy.
Oh, Earth Girls Are Easy.
Earth Girls Are Easy.
I haven't seen that movie since I was a little kid.
Since I was like 10.
One of the early film roles of Jim Carrey. He was one of the aliens.
That's right. Yeah, it was Jim Carrey, Who's that? That sex icon. We must go faster. We must go faster. Why can't I remember? Life has a way, finds a
Oh,
way.
Jeff Goldblum.
Thank you. It's Jeff Goldblum, and I always the
Earth
third
Girls.
guy is
Earth Girls are easy. Damon Wayans. I thought one of the
Damon
Wayans
Wayans.
was in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in my head, while you were saying like who the other ones were, like the name Marlon Wayans kept popping into my head, and I'm like, no, that can't be right. But no, yeah, it's Damon Wayans is the other one.
Right, and it's Gina Davis.
Yeah, I actually like this movie came out in 1989. I actually remember this being on like the movie channel,
Right? Right?
like the like super. It used to be called Super Channel at the time, and then it was Movie Central, and I don't
Movie
know what
Central, yeah.
I don't know what it is now, but it's basically the channel that plays like new release movies. A premium like cable
Right.
channel that plays new release movies. So I actually the first time I saw Earth Girls Are Easy was on like the premium movie channel when I was a little
We
kid.
rented it. We rented it on VHS. Gina Davis,
VHS.
man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so what the fuck happened? Oh, so the kid comes out with wet hair and wearing the shirt, and everyone's like, oh, like you know that stereotypical like whenever like a girl gets a makeover and she comes down the stairs during prom, and
she's
everyone's
all
like,
that. The she's all that scene. Yeah.
there we go. They do that when the kid comes out, and I'm like, is this fun? That reaction's kind of weird. Everyone.
I'm pretty sure She's All That was the movie that actually originated that stereotype. Or that
Yeah, right?
that trope. The
Yeah.
pretty ugly girl trope where it's
pretty
like
ugly girl.
where it's like, oh, they're supposed to be the ugliest like girl in school, and like the hot
You take off her glasses,
and put her hair
put-
down,
put her
and
hair
wave it
down.
around.
wave it around, and like put on like the smallest amount of mascara. Boom, smoking hot.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Take her out of her big ugly glasses and her overalls.
I like how they in Not Another Teen Movie how they poke
That's
fun at
exactly
that.
what I'm thinking of. You know what? I think that was one of the funnier spoof movies.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, I actually rewatched Not Another Teen Movie because I think it's on Prime Video.
It is, and I wanted to watch it.
It's surprisingly like it holds up surprisingly well.
See, in my memory, I was like, I have a feeling this will hold up really well, and I wanted to watch it, and my partner was like, I'm not watching one of those 2000 spoof movies, and I'm like, fair.
Yeah, fair. I get the hesitation, but Not Another Teen Movie surprisingly holds up well.
The American Pie
Hilariously
references
enough, the jock in that movie is played by Chris Evans.
is, and like absolutely shredded like young Chris Evans is like, I'm not a sundae, I'm a banana split. He's like, I don't like that either, and he walks away, and the fucking banana and the like the whipped cream sticking out of his ass.
And yeah, too. And another thing that I was kind of surprised about is for like a like spoof comedy from like the early 2000s. Most of the humor like still like isn't really as like hasn't aged as poorly as you would think.
It's not as cringe as you would think.
Yeah.
Not like watching American Pie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still remember the fucking happy birthday scene at the beginning of the. Well, one, because the chick's hot and she's going to town on herself. But two, like a dog comes in, her grandparents come in, and the thing like gets ejected, and like the dildo gets ejected and slams into the cake, splattering everyone.
Yeah,
as
because it's
it,
like it's her
flops
birthday,
around.
right? And so they surprise her.
But she's using Mr. Happy Birthday, which is like a mechanical kind of sex toy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wiggles around or something like that. Yeah, and so
Yeah.
that's our review of Not Another Teen Movie.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I don't
what?
even remember where we were. Are we at the beach yet? And so a great thing when you're kidnapping children.
Let's
is to
just
take
go
them
right to
the
that.
beach.
Yeah. So they come up with the idea that they're going to prove that they need to this
Oh, I
child to prove.
forgot. Right before that, the assassin is on a boat pretending to go fishing. And when the child is playing and they're about to, like, oh, show him your toys and stuff, maybe that'll trigger something and he'll remember being a person instead of a wolf. The dude just like pulls out a fucking gun, and Eagle Eye Hulkster is like, oh, danger sense. And he goes and he grabs the kids and picks them up. And the assassin like takes shots and just barely misses. And I'm like, I don't know, that's a big man. Like, what, you're against shooting the Hulkster and you're just trying to snipe the one kid?
I
Oh, hey, I draw the line at shooting wrestlers. I only kill children. What?
I guess we should actually mention why evil business lady wants this kid dead.
I can't even remember.
The parents of the child were like business partners with her, and when they died,
There
she
was no
like
heir.
she became like sole owner of the company. But if this kid is alive, then he'll
Then they
like,
become the heir,
yeah.
and then the company's majority would like fall to the kid.
Yeah.
There
Which
we go.
I don't know that that's how business actually works, but
Um, yeah,
but who
I don't
knows?
know
I
how
mean,
pseudo psychology works either. I'm pretty sure it's
I
not
mean,
this.
there's like like a board and like shareholders and
So after the assassin like misses shooting the Hulkster like 3 times, they wait a little while as the police come, and they hide the kid in the townhouse, in the beach house, right? And they stay on the beach, like, that the assassin knows that they're at,
yeah,
and
as
come
you do.
back out as one does. And they come out and they're like, okay, we know that you just escaped a fire yesterday. We know that an assassin just tried to fucking blow your brains out. um think, Tommy, think, you, Tommy, boat. And they have a toy. For whatever reason, this little girl has a toy boat, family of dolls, and 4 wolf toys.
Yeah, the bar chick comes up with the idea that we're gonna have to jog his memory somehow, and like we're gonna have to do it like using these toys by recreating the scene.
She's really adamant about like revisiting this so Tommy remembers that he's human, not a wolf. And I'm like, sure,
And
okay.
so what ends up transpiring is like such an omega level cringe where they use a toy boat and
They
action
put the
figures.
family with action figures on it, the dolls on it, put it down a little stream, like they sandcastle out and they fill it with water. And as the kid is like watching this happen, there's like monkeys screeching, and like he's having like
Sounds of like
Vietnam
gunshots and stuff.
Vietnam flashbacks, right? And like gunshots going off and his family screaming, and he starts freaking out, and he grabs like the woman or the mom or whatever and starts screaming and like slamming it down and like smacking the boat. And they're like, and she's like, good, no, this is progress. And I'm like, is it, you fucking maniacs?
And so what happened from then on was
Yes, tell us.
in a first for the Laser Comb
How many episodes
podcast.
is this?
This is episode 92.
So
Um,
92 episodes in.
in a first for the Laser Comb podcast, after this like cringeworthy scene, I picked up my remote and hit the menu button for the
You
first time,
reached for the dial and you just changed the
and I changed the channel. For the first time ever, I shut a fucking show off because I'm like, I just can't. I can't keep watching this. This is. Oh,
I powered through the episode.
God bless.
The child crying. They force him to continue playing with the toys, and he grabs himself after drowning the rest of the family. Like the boat goes under the water or something like that, and they bring out the wolf toys, and after crying, he moves over and like puts the little doll that represents him like on the wolf toys, and they're like, Eureka. I'm like, get this kid away from these people. Holy shit. Yada, yada, yada. Assassin pulls an Agent 47, pulls a gun on the police officer investigating the assassination. Because wouldn't you know it, the assassin, after being told by the lady, no, I need to see if he's talked, and gave them any information that would incriminate me. Now, do you know how, like, that hindsight thing where you're like, well, wait a second, that doesn't fucking hold up?
Oh, the refrigerator test.
The refrigerator test. They were like, I need to see, like, what he told them. So, kidnap him, don't kill him. Killing him or kidnapping him doesn't change if he spilled the beans about something. If he did, he did.
Yeah.
So not only do they kidnap him after pulling a gun on a police officer, they're on a boat themselves, way out in the water. Because, you know, if you're going against Mr. Thunderdome himself, Thunder in Paradise himself, best place to go and off a child and interrogate him with thugs is a boat out in the water where Thunder in Paradise can come find you. And he's in the the cabin, the under department of like the boat, and they come back out and they're like, oh, he can't talk. Yeah, he can't talk. Ugh, okay, just get rid of him. I don't know why I thought he'd be able to even like say anything. He's not even human. And they put him in like a big like chest, right? And they're like, she's like, oh, you're just gonna toss him in the water? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, well, is that even gonna sink? And they're like, yeah, it'll fill with water and sink. Because with the kid's weight and when it fills with water, it'll sink to the bottom. And I'm like, will it? Will it? Or will it just have a water bubble at the top? I guess so. So instead of offing him and like, you know, tying chains around him or something, they go to the shallowest part in the lagoon, in the bay that they're at. And then as the Thunderdome is racing after them, they're like, enhance. And the computer is like, of course, Hulkster, enhance. And it zooms in and they're like, oh, they're throwing the kid overboard. And the assassin, the evil lady, and the thugs are like,
Alpha.
Hey, it looks like the
Alpha, the child is being thrown overboard. We need to contact the Rangers immediately.
All right, it's Hulkin time.
It's Hulkin time. It's Hulkin time. And like,
and Hogan, he pulls out the belt.
Pulls out the belt. And you see what would Hogan's like thing be? Oh, Thunderbolt, sure. He's like, Thunderbolt! And then Macho Man is like, Slim Jim!
Slim Jim! And they change into a boat, and sitting inside is an unopened, in the wrapper, Slim Jim. And just a little model of like the Slim Jim.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake is like, scissors!
Scissors! And they go after it, and they turn, and they go...
Andre the Giant is like, peanut.
Peanut. They just...
Oh, who would the fifth one be? We gotta complete the WWF Rangers.
Who would the fifth one be?
Ric Flair.
Maybe Ric Flair.
Yeah.
I like how we both exactly at the same time.
And he just holds up a belt and is like, woo!
Woo! And it doesn't transform into anything.
He's just drunk all of a sudden.
He's just drunk.
Woo!
Anyways, so
as per
the
usual,
Hulkamaniac,
we are creating something infinitely more entertaining than this piece of shit show.
The assassin and the evil lady and the thugs, they look and go, hey, it looks like they're onto us. Quickly throw the child into the water and let's get out of here. While they're like people can see you. So they speed away and they throw the kid in there. And Thunder in Paradise bot is like, calculating remaining air in chest. 15 seconds. the chest is submerging, like scientific like projections pop up on the screen, and I'm like, how do you fucking know that? You, what?
And
Okay.
Alpha is just standing there like, aye,
Ay,
aye,
ay,
aye,
ay. Shut up, you. Push him in the back.
Calm
Um,
yourself, Alpha.
Calm
The Hulkster
yourself,
is
Alpha.
here.
The Hulkster is here. Prepare to disengage. So the Hulk goes in a pod, getting ready to be shot out like a torpedo, while Rutabaga is
No. Are you serious?
it's a lot less than that. Off screen, he just goes into diving mode.
Okay.
It doesn't even show anything happen. But they zoom in and a huge they zoom in on it and armor comes out. Really bad CGI, by the way. Armor comes
he gets
out.
into the torpedo and shoots out, and it's like, go, go, Hulkamania.
He sings it to himself. Do, 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 do.
Do, brother. Go, go, Hulkamania.
Go, go, Hulkamania, brother. Go, go, brother. You mighty Morphin Hulkamaniac. And yeah, his form lets him go underwater. It's basically like the Yellow Ranger, but there's like a mustache on the on the helmet.
I'm just imagining a Power Rangers helmet now with like the big like Hulk Hogan goatee and like a bandana
on the outside of it.
Yeah.
But it's still like a skinny stuntman doing the like clearly obviously not the Hulk.
Oh my
in the
god,
suit.
someone please like make that Photoshop.
Well, I guess it wouldn't be too hard. Yeah.
No, I don't think so, no.
I'll go and spend over 9,000 hours in MS Paint after this. I'm gonna drive over where because all these advanced science systems inside the Thunderbot. And as we go over where the kid is, I'll shoot you out in dive mode, and I'll go after the others. And it's like, sounds good. And he gets shot out, and it just kind of shows him diving deep, right? I'm like, it's weird that he doesn't have like something to help him breathe. So not only does he not have something to help him breathe, they didn't really lock the chest very well, because it shows him diving down as it hits the bottom, and the Hulk just kind of like rips it open and takes the kid out, right? Meanwhile, at the surface, the Gatling gun all but almost destroys the boat, but they continue firing at it, at the armored, like bulletproof, like boat. He fires a missile at them. It explodes and like rocks the boat. And I guess it has like a speaker system. And he's like, oh, that was a warning shot. The next one will blow you to hell in high water. Actually, I think that's a better line than what they say in the movie.
Probably.
Smithereens or something like that. And they drop their like rifles and assault rifles and like give up. And I'm like, oh yes, the children murderers and interrogators and assassin and evil like corporate overlord woman, they would give up. I guess. And then it shows,
now throw your guns in the water and dive overboard.
And dive in. And let that be a lesson to you. The Hulk comes up,
this
and
kid's
there's
under my protection now, dude.
I sent them to Siege earlier because one of us continued through it. The Hulk comes to the surface, and this is not how mouth to mouth works. You need to turn them on their side, pat their back, like their procedures. It's not hard, but
yeah, I have first aid.
Yeah, he cradles them, his back downwards, which doesn't make sense. You should turn them on their side first. Anyways, and still in the water, treading water, he does mouth to mouth resuscitation. Which you're not supposed to do immediately, which might not even be necessary. It doesn't like work once or twice. Like, in movies, it'll show a person doing it like once or twice and like, live, damn you. It's like 5 times. Like it's like an uncomfortable minute is like Hulk Hogan is holding his nose and being like, and like putting his entire face over the child's like
Well, yeah,
mouth,
you want to like turn them on their side to try and get as much as the water out
because
as
sometimes they'll just cough and
yeah, and then you would put them on their back with their like head like tilted up slightly upward, and then you would do like chest pumps like 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you blow once into their mouth, oxygen into their mouth, and then you keep doing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mhm.
That's how you actually do it.
No,
You
you
don't
just
just.
make out with a kid.
I know you sent me a screenshot of it, and
Two.
that's what it looks like. It's. I'm glad I didn't keep watching this.
And the kid like spits up water and is alive, and he's like, yeah. And then I don't know how it ends. Oh, it ends up with all the police being like involved, blah blah blah. It's like, oh hey, the parent, the kid is the heir to blah blah blah. Um, and like we don't want to send him back to like be science prodded, right? And they're like, well, you know what? I guess you're just part of the family. And I'm like, is that how it works? Or should you hand them over to like child services?
Yeah, the authorities would be like, "Well, we'll take it from here, Hulk."
And the last scene is like, you, Tommy, me, Hulk, Tommy, Wolves, the assassin, tragic backstory. And he's like, Tommy, me, Tommy. And they're like, yeah, Tommy. And he holds up a thing
and
of
then Hogan points like over there. He's like, "You, Tommy, me, Hulk, him, Manimal."
him, Manimal.
Do 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 do, and then all of a sudden a wolf just like transforms into Simon McCorkindale.
Like a 2 minute long transformation sequence.
Transformation of him like going back into human form. Do 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 do.
As everyone that's
do,
watching is
do,
horrified.
do.
Um, and I guess this is a thing I'm assuming this is a thing on the show. They're like, yeah, and what they do is they like the Hulk will put his thumb out, and then like so will his like that little girl, and like so will that like lady, and like even the little kid, the wolf child puts their thumb out, and they all like put their thumbs up together and like form this kind of like all in thing, but like with like thumbs up. And then they all kind of like look at the camera, and that's exactly what it is. They all kind of look at the camera and are like, yeah. And I can't remember the slogan they say at the end, but then it like freeze frames on the thumbs up.
In the
And I'm
background,
like, I guess
you see X-Pac like leaping into the air and doing the crotch chop.
um so I guess they just can say, oh, what's that? Oh, this child is the sole inheritor of like a billion-dollar company. I guess we'll adopt them. Now, is this child in the rest of the series, or would you imagine that it's just hand waved away?
Let's find out.
I don't care. I'm glad that one of us cares enough to look, but
Um,
I want to say no.
It doesn't look like it now.
Oh,
Yeah. Well,
multiple takes and multiple camera angles of the Hulk giving this child mouth to mouth for a really long time, by the way. Like actually multiple camera angles. I was so dumbfounded. I sent Siege screenshots, and I'm like, there's no way they took this. They did multiple camera angles of the mouth to mouth scene. But there's
It's
like
weird.
2 or 3.
It's weird.
It's just weird is what it's weird. Yeah.
Well, Cal, you just caught a random episode of
I
Thunder
sure
in
did.
Paradise.
I sure did. It's got
Alright.
Agent 47 trying to kill a child, the Hulk doing pseudo psychology, a small girl that I thought was a boy all episode, 30-second long
Who looks exactly like the Wild Boy.
30-second long uncomfortable mouth to mouth scene.
Would you tune in next week or next time, or would you tune in again?
a resounding I wish I had never tuned in, and I will never ever tune in again. And this makes the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Shame, with like, to me, this is like what's on our Hall of Shame? Like 3, 2, 1 Penguins, and
I don't. The Magicians is probably up there. Let's look through the episode.
The
list.
Magicians wasn't. No, Magicians isn't.
All right,
wasn't
I'm going through the
this was
episodes.
bad, man.
Starting through episode 1, the Hall of Shame, probably.
Yeah, let's just give it a glance.
Neither of us like Strangers with Candy. The episode that we did with Kate.
Not horrendous, but not. We didn't particularly like it. No.
Code Lyoko, I absolutely hated. I don't know if
I thought it was decent. You thought it was atrocious. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, the Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. That was just a bad episode.
That okay show. Agonizingly bad episode. Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh man, this
Deepwater Black was a show that was like really bad. That disappointed me because it was a show that I wanted to cover.
The space one.
Yeah. Teens in Space.
I liked I was mid about that. Like I could see what was cool about it, but
Night Flyers. Hall of Shame. Night Flyers.
Night Flyers.
Night Flyers.
I don't remember. Did we hate that?
We did. You recommended it specifically because you knew how bad it was.
Oh, and I didn't say anything.
And you didn't say anything, yeah.
That was like painful. It is not in the Hall of Shame, but it was pretty fucking bad. Not like angry bad. We weren't angry about it.
There aren't many that are like that actually qualify for the Hall of Shame.
It's like 3, 2, 1 Penguins.
Tripping the Rift, definitely Hall of Shame.
Ooh. It's 3, 2, 1 Penguins, Thunder in Paradise, and Tripping the Rift for me.
Yeah, and I'll throw Code Lyoko in there too.
For yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean unanimously.
Well, unanimous, yeah.
Oh, what else after that?
Invasion wasn't very good, but we didn't hate that.
That wasn't terrible, yeah. Same thing with Magicians. It's just like I don't really care or know what's going on. Yeah. No, I think that's the top 3. Is that the
I think so, yeah.
3, 2, 1 Penguins, fucking Tripping the Rift, and Thunder in Paradise.
Yeah. In that order.
Yeah. Actually?
Yeah.
Yeah, in that order. I couldn't when you said that you're like, I'm out. I'm out. I couldn't believe that it got worse.
I can't.
The police are watching us. Let's throw the child alive. Like, let's say they were efficient child killers. They could have just executed. It's just weird.
It is, yeah. Like I said, I get what they were going for with that, but it's kind of weird, and it gets even weirder with the whole mouth-to-mouth thing.
He's humanitarian, right? Like he's looking after animals. He cares about kids. Like it's trying to show that, like, you know, like, hey, help other people, right? Like that kind of like that mentality or whatever. But just, oof, man.
And it goes without saying, since I shut this off, yeah, I absolutely will never watch this show again.
Oh,
and Vampiro,
I will never.
Vampiro, like, outright saying, like, yeah, you absolutely did not just land on a bad episode.
Just land on a bad episode. You son of a bitch. He must have known how bad this was when he recommended it, but then just didn't say anything. I wonder.
Which, I mean, slow clap. Slow clap.
Bravo, good sir. Bravo. I wonder if this is like a bad episode of a bad show. Like it is hard for me to fathom that any other episode of this could be this bad.
I'm disappointed because apparently Sting had a recurring role on this show. I was hoping to get an episode that had Sting in it.
Because then at least we'd make jokes about Sting.
Yeah,
right?
because then we could talk about Sting and how awesome Sting is.
Right?
Fucking legend. One of the best of all time.
Yeah. And so let us not go out on a whimper of trying to remember Thunder in Paradise, but let us go out on a bang for remembering Sting. Would have been amazing if it's like, oh my God, the bad guys are getting away. Wait a second. Descending from heaven. Who is that?
All of a sudden it goes night. It becomes night, and
it just becomes night.
You start hearing like thunder and seeing lightning, and then all of a sudden, "Seek and Destroy" by Metallica starts playing.
And obviously on a wire, but like pretending he's descending from like the heavens.
Yeah.
Sting just fucking lands on their speedboat.
Lands on the thunderboat.
With a
yeah.
fucking baseball bat and starts just beating the shit out of the thugs.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been. See, that's the. How? Why wasn't this tongue in cheek, man? Can you imagine how good this show would be if like they just whatever?
And I think the show was like it was produced for TBS, so it's like WCW was involved with this show.
What?
So it's like, why not just
trying to be serious was such a like the A-Team preceded this by how many years?
Like a decade.
Like at least a decade, right?
Yeah.
How did they not take notes from? Anyways, I can't. I think it was like it was a Discord. I'm not gonna mention. Oh, whatever. It's screen names. Heinrad was like, oh, it's like Baywatch, but with more muscles. Thunder in Paradise. I don't know, man. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But like I said,
I think there's less muscles.
We should get to Baywatch at some point.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
We gotta start. I feel like we gotta start hitting the greatest hits with this show, with this podcast,
especially after some real mediocre shit.
Well, anyway, that was episode 92 of the Lazor Comb podcast. If you want to support us, go to patreon.com/lazorcomb, LAZORCOMB. We're starting at the $5 tier. You get to pitch us a show to review on this very podcast.
Can't be worse than Thunder in Paradise.
And you also get a bonus weekly Patreon exclusive podcast, the Super Lazor Comb Patreon Super Show, and a whole bunch of other goodies.
That was a fun one we did today.
So to get, if you want to get in on all of that, go to patreon.com/lazorcomb. Join the Discord, link in the description as always. Also, buy a Lazor Comb t-shirt. I'll put a link.
Pretty funny ones.
I'll put a link to the TeePublic store in the description for this episode as well.
Yeah. And I don't have anything to any social medias to plug because man, I don't know, fuck social media. Fuck X.
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram if you want at Christopher Siege. I still use Instagram.
Yeah. But honestly, like Discord, like where we just talk, we interact with Discord like all the time.
Yeah.
Because it updates and it's like easy and it's lighthearted.
And like, yeah, I have Discord on my phone because like I use Discord also as my main means of communication with just people I know IRL.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, come and say hi on the Discord. I am a cast member on Dork Tales, which is a YouTube channel and a Twitch channel that does tabletop RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons, Vampire the Masquerade, and that. So you could find me on Dork Tales. So there is that. But I have hung up the handed in my badge when it comes to any other social medias. Handed in my gun and badge.
Yeah. You're off the case for good.
Yeah, I'm off the case for good. And now I'm just a vigilante out on the internet.
So what I'd really like to do is load all our entire payload of torpedoes and fire them at the Thunderbolt, which is an appropriate thing to say because on the next episode of the podcast, we're going deep undersea, baby.
Oh, shit.
We're sticking with hype vehicles here because we're going to be talking about sequence.
Seems to be the theme, huh?
It does, yeah. Sequest DSV. And to
Sequest, baby.
figure out what episode we're gonna watch, I'm gonna hit screen share. If Zoom would stop moving,
There's only 3
buttons around.
seasons. Oh,
All right, share.
sure.
I'm sharing.
Ran from September 1993 to June 1996.
I really liked this show when I was a kid. I was watching it while it was airing.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
I only caught it here or there.
I'm amazed it didn't. Yeah, I was tuning into it every week. I was really into it. I'm amazed
Nice.
it hasn't occurred to me to cover it until now. It's 57 episodes. So, random number generator, 1 episode between 1 and 57. This website really should sponsor us at this point.
Right.
We give it so much free press. Episode 5. Nice and early in the show. I like it when that happens. Episode is that? Watch it be a part 2. Oh, no, it isn't. Treasures of the Tonga Trench. Aired on October 9th, 1993. As the Sequest undergoes inspection, Lieutenant Benjamin Krieg that sounds like a villain name right there.
Right. There's no way that's not a villain.
Has a close encounter with an unknown life form while in a sea crab in the Tonga Trench. When the creature lets him go, Krieg discovers a treasure trove of mysterious glowing stones. Stones that may mean big money. However, is the bigger threat to Sequest the greed that overtakes the crew or the unknown life form?
Oh, it's not a villain.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well,
Intrigue.
I'm intrigued. I'm excited to check this out.
Sweet.
So,
can't wait.
We'll be back in a couple of weeks with that. So, until then, I have been Christopher Siege, one of your hosts.
And I'm RJ Calster, or NeoCal, as I am wont to do, your other host.
Thanks for listening. We will Thunder Horse you next time.
The lightning and Nirvana you next time.
Bye-bye.